Man, what a morning I've had, let me tell you. But with that, InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you, my energetic beings. I almost went live again on my personal page. So, as for yesterday's, anyone else having some setting fun? So, for me, it really is all about the settings. It's like the magical otherworldly gremlins are playing with me, and rightly so. They just might be. So yesterday's show was actually on my personal and my business page. I guess that's what you call it. So to check that out, go to YouTube and you will actually see it there. I talked about the Archangel Uriel being online for the season of Aquarius, the bringer of light. And the cards, of course, fit right into the day. We have this offering between our heart and detachment, kind of feeling detached or being detached. Our shaman's portal was online along with our crown. So an interesting insight there. But today we have our heart channel, our inner heart, and our crown online. It's January 21st, and welcome to today's daily snippet. I am your host, a practicing holistic Sha'medium and subtle energetic surgeon, merging the indigenous technologies, the spirit of Africa, with subtle energies and elements and elemental beings, and really the elemental realm, the imaginal, and just throwing in some power pathways and more, of course. I kind of feel like a nomadic Merlin, offering rituals and prescriptions to add all the juice in your personal container. But really, my intention is to merge these indigenous technologies with these subtle realms to assist you into navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, just reintroducing you to and through the being that actually resides within you. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual studio. Interested in a card for your day? Simply like, comment, and share the show. Helping me really also helps you as well. It's a continuum. But it's interesting how the seasons of the cosmos and the seasons of the year are kind of fluent in their energetic makeup, what they're made of. We are in the end of a winter season, at least in the northern hemi, right? But either way, we are at the end of one season, elementally going to cascade into the next one. This one being elemental new year, the Chinese New Year, what's called a water tiger, if you will. And yesterday was all about creating an otherworldly sacred space through the connection of our shaman's portal. That little record pin drop on the opposing side, just a snippet above our crown center, literally a pinhole, and our crown. So, can I just say that my visions have literally been prophetic, meaning usually they're a week out, but now they're like literally right next door. So, if anybody else is having those symptoms of the gate opening more frequently, be sure to share. It's been a thing for me. It really is like cleansing the cobwebs out of our spiritual closet, getting to the threads. And it does kind of feel that way, actually. But the cards of today, I sense our inner heart, our higher heart, and our otherworldly heart, and our altar, the pie in the sky, is really online, our heart channel, along with the crown, and some juicy ingredients. So today I'm actually going to go with the seers. I was going to go with the fairies. Yes, I hear you, but you're going to come tomorrow. They're coming tomorrow. They are kind of excited, juicy to be part of the show, as per always. But the seers, first up, I actually have the Seven of Cups. And have you noticed all the sevens lately? Seven is a number of heaven. It's our spiritual connection. It's a connection to spirit. It's the heavenly realm. It's our ancestors. But the Seven of Cups, it's like he has his own village there. And I love that the cups are actually sound bowls, reversed. But when we daydream our way into our future, these options that we have in front of us can feel both under and overwhelming sometimes. It's a path from A to Z that's kind of, often it's nebulous, right? And life can really present itself like a game of chutes and ladders in a way, or a Rubik's Cube that kind of brings us down only to bring us back up. And our desire to choose one correct and perfect path can really complicate and even muddle our decisions and our thoughts, because there really is no way to know everything that's kind of spilling forth or forward from the cup, or the cup that we choose, and kind of rightly so. So it's better to use our intuition to decide, and just remembering that the temptation of all the shiny things, all the glistening things, can really be an illusion. while challenging paths really often hold those unexpected, really galactic opportunities. So it's really time to ask our discerning heart what options honestly stand in front of us today. And even if things are not exactly as they appear or as they seem, choosing that and doing so, what our heart truly desires, then it offers us the most useful kind of stepping stones at the current moment on that thread. So it's as if our wildest imagination is a tool that we can use to inform a future on a down to earth way into manifesting, bringing the celestial realms to the earthly plane, just trusting our intuition to really move forward without having to know the galactic full picture. That's kind of the thread of this card. So it's interesting, especially that our crown is going to be online for the whole season. And then we have, which I love this card, the Ace of Pentacles. Look at the magical otherworldly card. So for me, when I say otherworldly, it just means it's in the opposing direction or reversed. I just see it as otherworldly. So this is a message of having freshly rooted beginnings. The ace is kind of a powerhouse of all the possibilities. It reveals the materializations of earthly ambitions and all of the galactic juicy wonderfuls, the things that we can create. But when we see our future by planting our very first intentions, and that's kind of the threads we're in, things feel really exciting. They're raw and they're possible, right? They really feel that way, don't they? So hold on to those feelings of optimism and success for the new start that you're welcoming into your life, your journey right now. So it has this incredible otherworldly potential to really thrive. And the ace really initiates a timeline where our future wealth and health and material and abundance are like ushering in by figuring out our soil conditions, the soil of our soul, our watering schedule, and the needs of this unique otherworldly seed. So we're going to be able to see it through to fruition and bringing our determination, our dedication to really see our abundance kind of spring to life in the form of those successful outcomes, material, financial wins, our soul satisfying kind of well-being, the essence inside of us. So with this magical otherworldly message for good things to come, it really is time to visualize, attract, and prioritize and to act on those. You might feel the need to kind of create a strong foundations to really support your dreams. And if you can see this as those roots being in the other world, bringing in the juice to the earth plane, that's kind of the message. I see the roots galactically. It reminds me of the baobab tree. The frequencies are different there in Africa. And then we have, look at this juicy card. The number 2. Actually, I did this wrong. Hang on. This is not the right card. That's for my bonus card. Oh, no, maybe it is. Oops, hang on. Let me go back here. Yes. So what I found curious about all of that is we have the 7 heaven, and the 1, which is actually individual to us. And now we have the 2 of Pentacles, which is great. I have a bunch of Pentacles today. But it's kind of this juggling act of the roles and the responsibilities that we might be feeling a little imbalanced, maybe overly busy, got a lot on our plate. Maybe our calendar is totally overbooked. We're feeling the stress and we're like stretched in so many directions, really. So we might be feeling the need to kind of better balance our dualities in both of these streams or opposing aspects of our lives, whatever that looks like, meaning really our time alone versus our time with others. I probably need to spend more time with others because I like to be alone, or our material life versus our spiritual life, and so on and so on and so on, whatever that looks like. So just make sure that you aren't investing too many resources in one aspect or area of your story at the expense of another, especially when both are equally just as important. We really do need the balance, right? So even though this card might suggest that we are likely and able really to manage all of it, do we really desire the juggling? I mean, it's a lot. It creates undue stress, really. So it's time to really put some of our precious energy, our vitality, into creating a balance that we absolutely love. It's heartfelt. Ones that really allow us to have the time to work and play and love and be creative. So time flies by. So we have this equilibrium that won't take from our energy reserves. but it's not only going to add to it as well. So it's a day kind of a message to actually create an equilibrium, a balance in our life and harmony that allows us to be our higher, better self, whatever that looks like. So now to the next card that I didn't mess up here. There we go. So this is for Julie Hannah. I see that you have subscribed to my channel, so blessings to you. And for those of you that I might have missed new subscribers, that is possible, right? Be sure to comment or share so I'll be notified and I can grab a card for you as well. But we have the Five of Pentacles, which, you know, fives always get a bad rap. They really do, honestly. I don't really see them that way, but five is our mind. It's mercurial. It's where it plays out. The mind is retrograde right now. So our thoughts are being kind of rethunk. And it's interesting that it's a very pentacle kind of day, other than the Heaven of Cups, right, that I pulled earlier. So it's time, you know, it's time to kind of squarely address any feelings about safety, security, that you might have been worrying about within your well-beingness. You know, are you stressed about your financial situation or your health, or feeling left out from prosperity that others seem to enjoy? So to counteract these kind of coercive energetic states that we all have, really, we're kind of being asked to kind of reclaim our personal power with this card and find our own hunger, our fierce hunger, the fierce positivity, and seek opportunities in all of our current circumstances. You know, they might be hiding in the shadows. So if you've been stagnant for even just a hot minute, you want to ask yourself if you've been laser focused on the things that you are lacking in your life, the scarcity mindset. So if fear or self-pity or helplessness try to dictate your current threads, your current reality, just literally flip the script and remember that against all the odds, all the oppression, all the barriers and the class barriers, all of the everythings, really, there's always a choice to move beyond our current limitations, the appearance of them. So make it the absolute best of your luminous life, the luminous field. You're not locked out from that which your heart desires. So really see the keys that are going to help you get there and choose to open that door, that galactic door, whatever that looks like. It really is the doors that activate our magical opportunities. They're always opening. They're clearing away energetic blockages or energy blockages, and whatever that looks like for us. Then the elemental highway, which is curious. Whee! Look at all that. We have a very earthly plane day. Our young wood dog, our Jia Xu, it has no root. Our dog or our wood energy has no root. And wood is nature. It's all the elements in nature or in nature. In divination, nature is the realm of transforming and shifting and always changing. But our nature is actually very dry, all that earth. And the bubbling spring is hidden in those branches. So it's time to really stir the pot, knead the soil. Nature breaks up the earth, the trees, the energetic rooting system. So this is a day to move if you can. All that earth, it's the lymphatic system that's earthly ruled, needs movement to move where the heart pumps on its own, the kidneys filter on their own, we breathe on our own. So you know it's the flow of water, blood, and vitality, which is really nature in a way. But the lymphatic system is the only system that needs us to move, like get off the couch, literally move, go for a walk, be in nature. Any kind of movement could be cardio, really anything that gets us moving. So sitting for people with this much earth isn't really a good thing for a career, a desk job. So, however, though, on the celestial realms, the heavenly stems, as they're called, we have metal or mineral that will take that energy away from the earth, processing it in a way, which really is a good thing. And the oxen also have metal in storage. So does the dog hidden in the branch as well. And one little fire down there in storage. But the day needs to get to that hidden water to nurture. We need water today to get us into the flow. All the things that relate to the element of water, actually. So join me for Voices of the Other World as we really get to know these elementals, the spirits of them, and so much more. Just musing out loud, you know, you really can't cover all of this in 8 or 9 week immersion. But I'm trying, right? I'm doing it. But the dog, so if you were born between 7 and 9 p.m., you have the energy of the hour of the dog, this energy of the dog. And the dog is shy. They tend to put up walls, especially in group settings. They're very self conscious and they try to hide behind somebody else and not to be noticed. So that's kind of their shyness. So as a dog, you could have issues with cold hands or feet because of circulation problems. So male dogs generally have prostate problems, and women generally, believe it or not, have yeast infections. That's just kind of the symptoms of the energetic and their kind of psychological issues with sex and intimacy, which is interesting. So dogs, as people, they can create reasons for not facing their fears in those areas because they view sex apart from love, which is curious. Until they alchemize the two, literally alchemize the two, they can retreat into religion as a safe haven, and that gives them justification for that inhibition. So they bark and they growl ferociously about the decline of the moral values in society. They might have a holier than thou kind of attitude about indulging in that kind of behavior. I know some dogs, so it's kind of interesting. They can even become zealots in a way in their need to justify their views, their opinions. So if you reach a point, however, when the spark is ignited and they unite sex with the power of love, then they can move mountains, which is super juicy, right? All that hell and damnation stuff is literally flicked to the wind. It's forgotten very soon. But in the meantime, being inhibited and withdrawn, those really cause problems in relation to circulation and even sexual intimacy. So as a dog, you could be remote, you could be shy because you were literally held back as a child, perhaps even smothered by love. And too much of it, can create allergies. So that would kind of be a description of it. If you feel you didn't experience in life, have those experiences that you should have in your early childhood to cope kind of with being an adult. So you might have a lot of inner anger over this, and that erupts from time to time, and usually it surprises people, often those around us. You could also have liver issues and problems with your eyes because it's the liver pathway or the meridian that relates to the pectoralis major across our chest, and it involves our breasts as well. So someone or somewhere along the line or the way, something happened that really altered your experience for life. So everything was going along fine, and then all of a sudden, clink, clank, it was a clinker or a sinker, something you hadn't expected literally pulls the rug out from under you, and you've been looking for something to happen in any situation, whatever that is. So you can't quite believe anything's perfect or that it could be just that perfect. So something's sure to go wrong. You kind of have that in your frequency, in your field somewhere. It's kind of what you're always vibrating at, and you're always on the lookout for that. So the dog's stomach also can become agitated as they seek, sometimes desperately, to create an identity for themselves as a mate or a live-in friend, even in a relationship. So you need kind of this fulfillment of a relationship, and yet you fear one. That's the other side of the coin. So it's kind of interesting. So you go towards it and you actually run away from it at the very same time. So you'll not feel complete unless you're actually attached, and get the whole idea. You can get the smack of like smother love, again, that feeling based on your upbringing. It's kind of curious and interesting. So then as a dog, you would bark and literally run away. And when you do, you feel hungry and empty for the loving relationship that your heart knows you want, that can like move past your intimacy fears into a place of love and also contentment. That's kind of the energy of earth. So part of the dog, the person's apprehension of relationship, kind of stems from their inherent need to discriminate, not in a bad sense, just coming from a place of refinement. So it's hard for them to let go, be passionate in a physical relationship until they've ignited that connection between sex and intimacy. So if your father was uptight emotionally or sexually, it could be that actually as well. Just trying to be the good child for daddy. You can't really acknowledge your own sexual needs or what that looks like for you. and dealing really with the opposite sex, you could feel victimized in a way. So it's kind of curious, which only enhances your need to keep the opposite sex like away in the stage, right? So to be healthy, the energy of the dog, obviously, you know, you need to ignite the fires between love and sex, stirring that cauldron. You need to stop looking for the clinker, the rug, and really enjoy the totality of the symphony and the orchestra and the magic of life. And you need to take yourself, you know, take off the bootstraps, go out and experience and relish in all the magic that the world really has to offer and the beauty about it, whatever that looks like for each and every one of us. Just knowing that you are victorious in life's adventures. Go on the adventure and refuse to allow any sense of victimization to really enter into your head and relationships. You need to get beyond the idea that your sense of identity comes from being with another person and find really contentment within yourself, self-love. So this is when we can open up to someone freely, when they really enter our life. So for the dog to not wind up with these situations, these genital problems, the quest to move beyond intimacy and fears and the feelings of that victimization and just really let down the fence that's really blocking you from those relationships, and to stop barking and growling, and become really the open, friendly, loyal puppy, the loyal puppy dog who loves adoringly and kind-hearted, I would say, that will jump up on our lap, getting someone's aura, licking our face with love. That's kind of the energy. The earth energy is our stomach. It's our spleen with the other elements connected in and through those pathways, the energetic pathways. So the subtle energies are super magical when we start to rewire them. If you're curious about that, totally schedule a divination. But our heart is discerning where she belongs in the cosmic highway and how to love ourselves today. So you kind of want to ask yourself, if you're loving yourself in a detached way, you might be more open to self-love today, feelings or frequency, really the original voice, if you were to muse about it, or the language. We show expression on our faces or in our auric field first, before we ever used words, language. So they range from feelings of joy and love to the lower frequencies of scarcity or fear, just in a vast amount. Feelings, you know, feeling into them through our heart. Be kind to ourselves. Of all the things to be, I really feel people could be kind. The kinder we are to our inner self, that kindness really radiates out to the world. And I just truly believe that of all the things to be kind. So this is a frequency, or one of them, that's always vibrating continually into the galactic kind of reservoir, filling into the frequency today of how well you are loving yourself, self-care to self-love, all of it. And just observe yourself. What love are you giving yourself? Maybe create a journal of where you could be more loving, more heartfelt to you. Create yourself really kind of your own magical love note. So when we add belief to our cosmic soup, the ingredient of our sacred inner self, it comes magically from our love channel, just streaming in, if you will, of how much we love learning about our heart, learning about ourselves. And in doing so, the learning on the inside creates the belief of what we deserve on the outside of ourselves. So do you believe that you wholeheartedly deserve the love you give yourself? Or do you have a glitch in your love channel? Most of us do. So really plant the seed to believe in yourself, so that seed and that belief can grow and spring forth. It's kind of like how we treat our body is how our body is going to treat us. Our subtle body, our physical body, even our spiritual acumens, all of out into our fields. So, you know, are you treating your body from a space of love, a love space, or are you crippling it with negative thoughts or feelings? You know, pour more love in your chalice, add more creativity. You know, do you need to add more love in your inner world? Or how can you be more loving, a more loving friend to yourself? And what does that look like, or what is that for you? So love really is, love of self is this alchemy of loving outside of ourselves and attracting that love. So we're energetic mirrors in a way as well. Now, I just realized that I deleted my little archangel Uriel, but he is fabulous, by the way. I'm going to continue on that journey about him. But watch yesterday's show. I talked about Archangel Uriel in connection to Aquarius, where we detach from life in the realms of our natal will, the cosmology of the cosmos. But Uriel is the bringer of light. He's also been called the light of God. It's this intellectual angelic being who usually manifests in our beingness, in our essence, coming in and through the soul's harmonic above our shaman's portal. He forms ideas and epiphanies, creative insight, otherworldly solutions. So if you need to not only think, but really get out of the box, call him in. He's great for insights, fast thinking, decisions. The number associated with him, which is curious, is the angelic number. It's 111, 111, because he carries the light, he carries the frequency. And what's curious is that because of this, he is able to hold the light of all three of these energies of the Trinity within his being, within his essence. So it really is a call to rise to the occasion, you know. Others might be attracted to our higher frequencies and seek out our guidance, the expertise. We all have knowledge, right? So it's time to create the shifts in our lives. Sometimes they're major, and they're oftentimes for the better. So just having his assistance really allows us to achieve our galactic juiciness. Anything really, wanting us to put our own needs first, which is the number one. But he's also aware of the value of giving back to others, so we can serve through work, serve through doing physical things, offering our knowledge, our experiences, or even just a wink or a loving hug, you know, to self or others. So I think we're all as unique and individual as our thumbprint. So really shine on and really be the light, whatever that looks like for you, because we all have this juiciness, and the village would be pretty boring if we were all the same, right? In essence, that's just my thought. Now the herb of the day, this is great. I went with lavender. Lavender brings peace, it brings compassion, which is why a lot of Aquarians are striving for it, for vision and a vision of a better world. It helps to calm us down without creating drowsiness. And it kind of creates this cultivated focus to refine our plans, relieve tension, headaches, all tension actually, indigenous to the land and kind of everywhere really, indigestion that can really arise from such a state. So lavender is kind of a foundational herb for emotional bitterness. It's a blend. It helps us to digest all of our emotions, but especially difficult ones that have a tendency to get trapped in our body energetically. It can assist to soften the jolts of energy that run through all of us really, but Aquarians especially, and wherever Aquarius is resonating in your chart, your cosmic will, while still enhancing the energetic output, just clearing out lethargy and laziness. And even the color of it, the deep purple, that kind of implies through kind of an energetic signature, if you will. It's a connection to our vision, to a variety of psychic visions. It's an herb that the aroma of it really can be like carried on the wind. So it supports the air driven energies of all the air signs and Aquarius especially, who maybe are trying to share their vision out into the world. So this vision aspect, again, would be playing out wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart. So it's just really a great ally for asthma attacks brought about by tension. It can be used for coughs and colds, any kind of aggravation by excess stagnation in our chest. It helps clear out that congestion. Tons of uses. Nope, I don't have it on my desk. Normally I do. But I have lavender everywhere. It really is one of my favorite herbs to just add to baths. It's this relieving brew, calms our cranky energy frequencies of all ages, really. We can use it on our chest for colds. There's just a bunch of uses for it. It's just an ally as well for insect bites. And you know, really, who doesn't have lavender on hand all the time? I literally always have some somewhere. I just bought some. I bought a plant to plant in the spring. So I find that curious. So with our crown and our heart online, we can ong and yom at the same time and blow as if you're blowing out a candle for the elemental realm for water. And as far as an affirmation, I would really keep it simple. I would affirm that I am heartfelt to me today, self-love, self-compassion, and inner peace. It's not a day to really detach from ourselves, our heart. So feel into those frequencies. And again, I would truly give yourself or write yourself a love note. So thanks for tuning in, inshallah and Ashe, and I will see you on the other side. Blessings.